everybody. Today I'm going to show you guys one of our new little mini patterns. It's called Mushroomville. I wanted to call it Shroomville, but I thought maybe that was not a good idea. So Mushroomville it is, and this is what they look like. They're just fun little pin cushions. I have a thing for mushrooms. Me and my daughter love them, and I just think they're the cutest little things. I have no idea how we got away this many years without making some kind of a mushroom thing, but here's some of the little ones with our new fabric summer set. And then we've also done a couple with the new Moda linen mochi dots, and there's a couple different colors on that one. There's the big mushroom and then the little one. And today I'm going to show you how to make those. This is what the pattern looks like, and I'm going to take you through a couple of the steps. Okay, so I'm going to show you the inside of the pattern, what it looks like. You've got your templates for the stem, depending on which size, for the portion of the cap, and then basically a circle that serves in two different places in the pattern. And there's basically 4 or 5 simple steps. So the very first thing you're going to do is you're going to cut out, so I'm going to put that down, you're going to cut out your pieces for the cap. And this is what the pieces look like, and you're going to have 4 of them. And the first thing you're going to do is you're going to fold them in half, and you're going to measure up, I can't remember exactly what, but it's in there. And you're going to make like a little tiny dart, basically, so that your piece looks like this. And you're going to do that for all 4 pieces. And then the next step is you're going to sew 2 of them together into pairs, or into a pair, I guess. So 2 of them into a pair like this, and 2 of them into a pair like this. And you're going to place those together. They're not going to be flat because of the darts, so you're going to line up the edges like that, and you're going to have pressed these open flat. It just makes it easier for the top of your mushroom to be smooth if those are both flat. And you're basically going to sew that right along into the cap. Now what we did find, and we mentioned this in the pattern, is that sometimes if you follow the curve of this all the way around, you end up with a little bubble on the top of your mushroom cap. So we sew it all the way across first, and then we go back and we kind of even this out, like almost a straight line. Like, so literally almost a straight line across the top so that it's as smooth as possible. And when you're done with that, and you'll flip it open, this one is not sewn obviously, but you'll have the top of your basically your cap. So what you do with that piece is this is what it looks like, and you'll basically put it in your hand, and you'll take whatever stuffing you like to use. I happen to have a cotton stuffing here, but I use polyfill, polyester stuffing also, it doesn't really matter. You're going to start ripping off pieces of it, because I couldn't tell you exactly why, but if you do a bunch of little pieces like that as opposed to a glob the way it came out, it's much easier to shape it, probably because you shape it as you pull out each piece. And you're going to put a bunch of it into that cap, and you're going to kind of try and figure out how much of it you think you can get in there to make it tight. It's not an exact science, so I couldn't tell you exactly how much, but you know, a handful, and shove it in there. The other piece that you'll have needed to have prepared is it'll give you a circle in the pattern, and you're going to cut out that circle on a piece of cardboard. What I love to use is the leftover cardboards from my layer cakes. So if you have any of those, or from Charm Packs, if you have them sitting around, it's a perfect piece. But any kind of solid strong cardboard. And then I took an old rotary cutter that I use for paper, and I basically, if you can see that, I kind of cut like a couple of slits in the center to create a hole, because later you will need to put the stem, you'll need to literally push the stem into that. So you basically need that piece of cardboard with those little slits in there. And what you're going to do after you've gotten that stuffing and your cap is you're going to put that piece of cardboard in there. It stays inside the pattern. It's what gives the cap its shape. So you put it in there, you've kind of have all that stuffing inside, and as you do that, you're going to then we used strong quilting thread because you don't want it to break, and we basically just ran a basing stitch around the outside and pulled it taut around that cardboard. And you just kind of want to keep going. If you feel like you look at it and it's soft and fluffy and it's not taut, then kind of open up a piece of it and shove more stuffing in there until it's tight, because you want that smooth cap on it. Once you like the shape, then you're going to go ahead and you're going to make sure you back stitch on both ends, because since you have to pull it so hard, if you don't back stitch, it's likely to slip out on you. So then tie it and I would tie it several times in a knot, and I didn't clip the threads here, just, but when you're done, you're gonna go ahead and clip those threads. So then what you have is this partially done cap. And what you're going to do is you're going to take that circle shape again, and you're going to trace it on the line and then cut it around, and you're going to have two pieces of them together. And you're going to put them right sides together, and you're going to sew all the way around it. You don't need to leave anything for flipping because we're going to turn it from here, from the inside. So then I cut 3 little slits, hopefully you can see that. And then I'm going to turn it through that slit all the way in, and I'm going to work that with my finger and an iron until I have a round pressed shape, and it will look like this when it's done. And so that's basically the bottom of your mushroom cap, and that's where the slit is. And you take that side with the slit and you basically lay that up against this, and you're going to whip stitch it all the way around to the bottom, like this when it's done, basically all the way around that edge. Okay, so the next step you're going to do is you're going to cut out your stem template, and you're going to sew 2 of them together again from this side to this side. You're going to leave the top open, and you're going to turn the whole thing right side out in here. And I've already done that here for you. One of the tools that I love to use to do that is called a hemostat, and it's like this long, skinny, looks like a big long pincher, and you just pull it in there, and you pull the fabric out with it. I love it. Didn't bring it here with me today, but you're going to then turn it right side out so that you have a stem, and again, you're going to stuff it until it's very tight. You want it to be really substantial, and you're going to leave the stuffing out of the very top so that you can basically stitch it shut along the top. So that's what it would look like on the top. Once you've done that, you're going to take either your rotary blade, your cutter, or maybe just a pair of sharp scissors, and then this finished cap piece, you're going to trim another small hole, and if you remember, underneath that hole is that opening in the cardboard. And you're going to take this stem, and my favorite tool to use is a chopstick. At that point, you could use a skewer. I'm sure you could use the tip of your scissors, and you're going to basically shove that in there. I know, for lack of a better word, you're going to literally shove it in there through the little slit that you did in here and through that space inside until you feel that it's really in there. If you feel that you really want a solid, stable mushroom, I recommend even putting a little bit of glue on the end of this, or glue, or a hot glue gun, or one of my sewer friends who did one of these samples, she wanted it really stable, so she actually put like a toothpick into this, and as she put it in there, there was a toothpick in there that kind of kept it way more stable when it's done. I don't mind the fact that they're more or less, they kind of move around a little bit. They're just decorative, but so it depends on your preference. Once you put that in there, you're going to basically have everything except for this outside. And the very last step that we do on that mushroom is we have a little piece of wool, and it basically, you take it and you just snip it with little zigzags all the way across, like this, and the piece is cut a little bit longer than you need it. When you're done trimming that like that, you basically, because this is wool, it will stretch. You'll basically stretch it along the bottom of your mushroom until it overlaps, and then you'll stitch it together into the mushroom. At the same time, you're hiding any kind of, anything in there that you didn't like with how the stem goes in there. It all gets hidden. And then you basically overlap that, and then you stitch it and you trim off that extra piece. And so by doing that, you create that nice little end on the mushroom. And our very last little addition that we added, it's basically a little cutout flower felt, and it's in the pattern, and we just found a nice little pearl-headed top, and we don't even sew this on. We just put that in there, and if you want to shove that, I know shove, huh? It's such a technical term. If you want to put that right into the center, it will also help to stabilize the stem a little bit too if you're concerned about that. And there's your mushroom. So our little Mushroomville pattern is, along with all of our other patterns, are available at the Fat Quarter Shop.